Hello, everybody. Today we are going to review the movie. It is on. Okay, sorry. Sometimes it's very hard to see. But anyhow, what was I saying there? Yes, today we are going to review the movie Army of the Dead, which is actually. Sorry, my elbow's hitting this bowl here that I had from popcorn. Um, sorry, just let me answer this. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, yes, Army of the Dead, which is a movie I've been waiting for ever since the trailer came out for it. I don't know, maybe a month ago or so, I think. Or maybe it's been even longer, but anyway, I've been really pumped up to watch this movie. I did watch it Friday night when it actually premiered, so this was actually my second watch through, which gave me some, I guess, kind of a better clarification, and even some parts that I missed that I was like, oh man, like even right from the beginning. Now, this movie was directed by Zack Snyder, and it seems that no matter what genre of movie he does, he can do no wrong. Now, this kind of reminded me of if you've ever seen the old Evil Dead series, which really makes me want to go back and do that now, with Bruce Campbell, and I might just do the TV series as well, because I am going to do, well, by the time this video comes out, you'll know that August is going to be my monster month. So I'm going to see what kind of movies and series I can get into before August. But I'm going to continue my hero stuff before that. But you won't even see this video by the time June and July are over, because this will be in August. So anyway, there you go for that. So I did have to look up the names of the zombies because there were quite a few names thrown around in the beginning of the movie, and obviously this movie starts out with this military group carrying this package. They don't know what it is. They're kind of speculating, joking around as to what it could be. Anything from the Declaration of Independence to possibly an alien was the final conversation that they were having. And I guess this couple that just got hitched is having having sex in the car going down the road while driving, and I highly recommend obviously not doing that, regardless of where you are. So this story is taking place in Las Vegas, so I guess they're kind of like carrying the patient zero, as you would call it. I'm not sure where they were supposed to be taking it, possibly Area 51 for, who knows, I guess examination, so on and so forth. That could possibly be. It doesn't really explain as to where they're taking it. They just are transferring it somewhere. But they don't know what they have until, obviously, this couple ends up hitting one of the trucks. It blows up. The package on the back of the truck goes flying. And then they get a call as to, like, what is the actual status of the package. And he says, the one military guy radios in and says it's been compromised. So she goes, get out of there. Get your men and get out of there. You don't want to be near it. And then all of a sudden you see this zombie creature pop out. And he seems to be stronger and faster than the humans. So he ends up killing all of them and then hunting the last two military guys and turning them. And then it goes over the hill. And it shows the whole of Las Vegas with the three of them just standing there, so you know that that's how the infection started. And then obviously when they actually get down into the city, it shows like the whole outbreak beginning and like all the characters that are going to be a main part in this movie. It shows them standing there with like a photo of their family. I guess maybe when they're entering the quarantine type zone, I suppose, as opposed to obviously being out there with all the zombies. And then it shows like a big pan shot when they finally make it in and they wall up, obviously where the people are safe from the zombies. And there was a lot of them. So the main like slower type zombies they call shamblers, And the ones that we meet later on in the movie are known as alphas, when we actually meet this character called the Coyote that takes people out into Las Vegas again. I guess for many different reasons, because she says that she takes a lot of people out. But obviously the main goal is to get this money, right, to earn your freedom, which is what this team of ex-military and so on and so forth is doing. So I'm just going to look this up just so I can tell you who actually starred in this movie and the names of the people in the actual movie. So this movie, obviously, if you've seen the trailer for it, you know the main person is Dave Bautista, who plays Scott Ward. Ella Purnell, who plays his daughter Kate Ward. Anna de la Rugera, I want to say, plays Maria Cruz. Omari Hardwick plays Vandero. Theo Rossi, who actually, now that I see him without hair, I do remember who he was. He played in Sons of Anarchy, and he plays Burt Cummings, who is one of the, I guess, kind of like security guards at the quarantine zone, I suppose. Then we have Matthias Schwarzenhoff, who plays Dieter, so I guess he might have actually a real German playing a German in a movie. That's funny. Nora Arzender, who plays Lily, or the Coyote as we know her. Hiroki, oh god, his name is so hard to pronounce. Hiroyuki Sanada, who also was just in the Mortal Kombat movie, wasn't he? Yeah, if I'm remembering this picture correctly. Who plays Bly Tanaka. Garrett Dillahunt, who plays Martin, who was Tanaka's like right-hand man, basically, and goes in on this mission with them. Tig Notaro, who plays Marina Peters. Raul Castillo, who plays Mikey Guzman. There was a lot of people in this movie. Huma Quirshi plays Gita, and Samantha Wynn, who played Chambers. And I think that was all of the main characters. Yeah. There was a lot of people in this movie who starred in this movie. So yeah, the main objective here is for Scott Ward to get this team together in order to get Tanaka's money back, I guess, for him, or at least get most of the money, and obviously they'll get their reward in the end. So Scott puts his team together. He tells each member of the team that they're getting a different cut so that they don't know, but he obviously gives the most to... Who was it? The first girl, I believe Maria, if I'm remembering that. I believe, yeah, it was definitely her. Yeah, he definitely goes to talk to Maria first, and then he talks to the rest of them. So there is flashback moments in this movie. Obviously, you find out that Kate is his daughter, and so she is a volunteer at the quarantine zone. And so she doesn't want Gita to leave. That's what Gita is basically doing, trying to leave on her own to go get this money. And it doesn't go well for her because she ends up getting captured by the Alphas, right? So when the Coyote basically had to... she stayed behind while they went out and searched for the money. So she made it out alive, and she didn't actually see if the other did, but they didn't come back. So now, obviously, Kate wants to go out with her father and the team in order to find Gita, and he finally breaks down and just says, okay, but you can't leave my sight if you're going to come out with us. Everything seems to be going according to plan. They actually do end up sacrificing the one security guard because the Coyote, or Lily, says that he was obviously causing issues, with the women in the quarantine zone, so she sets him up as a sacrifice to give to the Alphas. And so he ends up getting turned by the... Now, I'm not sure whether he got turned by the main one. I'm assuming he did. And as the movie goes on, it seems that... seems the strength level kind of varies depending on how you get turned, I guess. It is really weird. And there is a mention of the Shamblers, I believe, is what the main zombies were called again. Or the slower zombies were called, yeah, Shamblers. There is talk of them actually being able to come back to life during rainy periods, but they weren't able to stay out of the sun, obviously, because they didn't have the brains to, but the Alphas are actually smarter, so they know enough to stay indoors when they need to, and not only come outside when they absolutely have to. So everything seems to be going well. They get into the bank. Obviously, Tanaka's right-hand man, Martin, was not a good guy. He ends up killing... I believe it was Chambers that he ends up killing, yeah. Throwing her off of her path when they were in the zombies that were all hibernating. When they were trying to get out of the... I can't remember what building they were trying to get out of. Anyway, it's not really that important, but... So anyhow, they do make it to the vault, and he ends up betraying quite a few of them. He even closes them all down in the bottom with the vault when they're going to leave, because he thinks that he has the head of the queen, because he says that that's what he needs for Tanaka, and then betrays the coyote, right, or Lily twice. Once by cutting the queen's head off, so obviously the other zombies heard her death cry, so that's not good, because now all the Alphas are coming after the people, right? And they were trying to make it out with the money before this nuclear bomb drops on Las Vegas. Now, it's not... I don't know how they described the bomb. It wasn't like a full-fledged nuclear bomb. It was just enough to destroy the actual city of Las Vegas. Or yeah. Is it a city? Jeez. Don't quote me on that. My geography's horrible these days. But anyhow. Anyway, this nuclear bomb that's supposed to be dropped in Las Vegas wasn't meant to destroy like a whole state, I guess. It was just meant to destroy that part of it, or at least wipe out the zombie horde, I suppose, was the main objective there. So they were supposed to have a full day in order to make it back. It was supposed to be just a quick in and out, but then his daughter decides, Kate decides to go find Gita after all, so she leaves them behind, and then obviously things just go downhill from there, because they're already being hunted by the Alphas, and the main Alpha wears this weird type mask, obviously because the only way to kill a zombie in classic zombie fashion is right in the brain, to shoot it at the brain. Dieter does end up saving... What was his name again? Vander-O. But unfortunately, at the end of the movie, you do find out something quite interesting. So Scott goes to save Kate, and then, unfortunately, the Alpha zombie is able to make it onto the helicopter. He bites Scott, and then at the very end of the movie, it was kind of probably the saddest moment, because finally it seemed like Kate and Scott had finally given one another, because in the flashback it shows Scott have to, unfortunately, kill his wife, because she had turned, I guess, during the beginning of the outbreak, I'm assuming. So obviously Kate and Scott had their kind of like, they were kind of distanced because of that. And they did end up bonding finally through the movie, and at the very end they told each other they loved them, or loved one another. So you kind of felt for Kate, because she'd finally forgiven her father for what he had done and the way he was with her after the situation. So unfortunately she had to kill him, because he had been bitten and he was turning. So she was actually the only one that ever ended up making it out of the whole situation, because everybody else dies. so that was just crazy. Yeah, because even I'm not sure about the Coyote, whether she, or Lily, Coyote Lily, however you want to say it, whether she was turned or whether she was killed, because the Alpha does pin her to the wall, but then he kind of just like growls in her face. And that was one of the things I wanted to bring up too, was that they had this very interesting noise. And one of the awesome parts of it was the zombie tiger. That was pretty cool. And I would say that Martin definitely got his due when he betrayed Lily for the second time, because he just gets completely messed up by that tiger when he thinks he has the head, and it just ends up being the printer or photocopier or whatever type of device he had in the bag that he got foiled with himself. He played himself in that situation by locking the rest of them down in the vault. And then at the end of the movie, you find out that Vander Rohe has actually been bitten himself. Now, I'm not really sure. Maybe that's why Dieter closed the vault on him instead of staying in there with him, because he wasn't sure how much longer Vander Rohe was going to be able to make it. So he just kind of sacrificed himself, hoping that maybe one of them could at least make it out of the vault before they were changed. I'm not really sure what his thought process was there, but he definitely probably could have, made it away with the money too. But hey, a movie's a movie, right? It kind of does suck because at the beginning, Vander Rohe and Dieter were kind of indifferent. They didn't really get along, but then as the movie went on, they kind of bonded, became better friends. So yeah, that was kind of a sad moment too. But unfortunately, shit just hit the fan as soon as Kate decided to go on her own, and then everybody just ends up dying except for somehow Kate makes it alive, which was just crazy to me. Because, yeah, the helicopter crash, I don't think anybody would have survived that, and I'm not sure exactly how she got ejected without... Seemed like she almost didn't have any external injuries. Now, I'm not sure about internal, but, yeah, I guess there was no visible cuts or bruises really on her. Everybody else seemed a little more beat up, and obviously the pilot, Peters, was definitely done for because she had the helicopter blade right through her. So, yikes. Also, the nuke was pushed up by a whole day, so they ended up only having like an hour and a half to get out of the city. So that was another big thing. And then obviously Tanaka was a little upset because his money didn't end up making it to him after the nuke drops. I guess Kate got enough money out of the deal because Scott handed her, I don't know how, like just a couple stacks of money in order to get Gita's kids out of the quarantine zone for good. Because I don't think Gita made it either. Or at least that's the way they ended it. So then Vander Rohe, it shows him after the nuke drops because he was underground, so he was safe. He throws these bags of money up. He goes and rents this plane. Then he has toasts with the stewardess, I guess. Is that what they're calling the planes? He toasts with them, and then has like a glass of champagne. It looks like he's about to pass out, and then you can kind of hear like the groan of like the alpha zombie come out of him. And so I'm assuming that the pilots or the stewardess might actually know, but they just don't want to say anything, so they're kind of asking him if he's actually okay. And then he goes into the bathroom and checks in the mirror, and it shows a bite mark. So I'm not exactly sure when he was bitten there, because it doesn't... I don't know, there was so much commotion in that scene, even though it was in slow motion, that he might have just been... Yeah, I'm not sure which zombie he was bitten by. He must have been bitten by the alpha somehow. And it just was so close up that when Dieter hit the alpha in the head, it just didn't show it from a far or the right angle. So it was kind of like, yeah, they didn't want you to see that, I guess. And he's going to Mexico City, so I'm assuming... Now, I'm not really sure whether See, now that's kind of confusing, because now was the outbreak just contained within Las Vegas, or was it worldwide, or was it not worldwide, and now he's going to Mexico City, and he's going to start the outbreak there? It's kind of an interesting, yeah, kind of a mysterious ending, hey? to that movie. Anyhow, I would say that not many movies I give this rating to, but this movie superseded itself. So I have to give it an 11 out of 10. Zack Snyder is just one of those directors that just goes above and beyond no matter what genre he's doing. So yeah, I have to give it over a 10 on this one because it was just a fantastic movie, and maybe just because I've been waiting for it for so long and I was just super hyped to see it, and even the second watch through was just as good as the first. Obviously, you're not really surprised by much the second time around, but yeah, there were definitely twists and turns. The first time I watched it, I was just like, oh god damn, like some of the decisions even they made, I was like, you shouldn't have done that. You should have just ran for it. Why did you go back and do that? But you'll see what I'm talking about when you actually watch the movie. Because I don't want to give too much away. I mean, this won't be coming out till August, so hopefully by then most people who have seen this movie or who want to see this movie will have seen it. That's why I try to give like a little bit of a time lapse between when the actual movie comes out and when I do these reviews, because I like to, discuss it after giving some time so that people don't click on this and they're like, oh, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Because, yeah, I don't want to be that person. I mean, obviously, there is going to be spoilers. So if you haven't watched it 2 months in, maybe don't watch this review. I know I'm saying that at the end of the video, so if you're like already 15 or 20 minutes into this video, because that's about how long it is. Wow. Yeah, you can tell I was really into this movie just about how long, just for how long I talked about it. But anyhow, I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, 20 minutes for one movie. I haven't done that in a while. Yeah, so that's actually a good thing, though, that I was able to talk about this just because it was that good. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on this film if you've seen it by this point. If not, and you did enjoy the review, and now you want to watch the movie, I highly recommend going to see it. I do give a lot of high ratings. Sometimes I don't. It really does depend on the movie. Sometimes I just really don't enjoy it. I try to review movies that I enjoy a little bit more. I know not every movie. Sometimes you're like, oh my god, this movie's going to be great, and then it just totally bombs. But this movie was not one of those. It was just good from beginning to end. So yeah, I said all that. Comment down below your thoughts on this film, blah, 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 blah. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye for now.